Welcome to the Squared Circle Jerks podcast. I am Mike. With me, as always, is my co-host Byron.
I'm on vacation. I've been drinking since 2 hours ago.
He's on vacation, therefore he will be drunk for like the next... how long are you on vacation for?
2 weeks.
Alright, so this podcast and the next one, you're getting drunk Byron.
We're going to be podcasting every night, boys.
And we were going to have a guest podcaster today, but we don't know what happened with that.
Yeah, we got a no-show.
Unfortunately.
We won't put his name out there because we hope to have him on eventually.
Indeed.
But we guarantee you, to avoid any further accusations of racism, he is American, and therefore totally different than us.
Totally different? Well, I mean, if we want an American, we can always get Chris.
No. Oh, I'm good.
You don't want to go that American?
Hey, Chris, how's it going?
Alright, so WWE this week. Pretty good, actually. I enjoyed.
Yeah. I'm sure there's stuff I hated, and we'll probably find some of it here and there, but off the top of my head, I can't come up with much. I really didn't enjoy Mixed Match Challenge this week. It was as kind of convoluted and dumb as I thought it was going to have to be, because they're doing it wrong at the wrong time of year. If they did this at any other time of year, it wouldn't be this big a deal.
I rather enjoyed Mixed Match Challenge, so we'll have a contrast of opinions there, perhaps.
Excellent.
So, we open up with Raw with Kurt Angle. Basically out here to do the typical Kurt Angle stuff, but it's suspended Roman Reigns, who's here to tell...
Oh, yeah. This is the part I thought was stupid.
They're mixed bag. We'll go through this step by step. He does not care that he's suspended, and someone has to be here to rep the main event at Wrestlemania.
Spoiler alert. That'll be the main event at WrestleMania now.
Yeah. Well, we've known that for a while, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, at least give us some hope that real matches can be the main event instead of just Vince's fuck buddies.
Then we have Kurt saying that Brock will be here, but Roman is, he's not buying it, and Kurt basically admits that Brock is running late in a manner that convinces me in no way that he thinks Brock is going to show up.
Correct. And then this is where the stupid shit happens. Because the U.S. fucking Marshals come down. Come on, son.
Yeah, I wasn't really a fan of the whole invoking the U.S. Marshal on this.
No.
The arrest. Not to mention Roman basically just flipping out with the "Don't touch me!"
Don't touch me, bro.
I think they missed what made this, like, Steve Austin getting arrested good.
Yeah. Well, for one thing, here's the deal. If you put your hand on a fucking cop, you go to fucking jail. End of fucking list. I guess Roman Reigns won't be at WrestleMania this year because he'll be in jail.
I'm somewhat okay with, like, not doing that because we've had wrestlers lay hands on cops before and not go to jail, and it's kind of accepted that we're in, like, an alternate reality to a degree.
Yeah, I can accept that, but it's 2018 and we have the internet.
Yeah, but my main problem with this whole thing is that, one, I'm not a fan of this whole Roman Reigns is suspended thing because this man attempted murder on TV and was not suspended. So,
correct. Why
the hell is he suspended for saying harsh words to Vince McMahon?
Also correct.
So, yeah, the whole thing, like, it's like they thought we could make Stone Cold Roman, but we're going to ignore all the booking that pre-existed this and roll with it. That's kind of the problem.
Yeah.
I like the promos about Brock being a pansy. That works. That's good. It works with Roman's character. This, not so much.
Yeah, my further issues, issue number one is, again, if you touch a cop, you go to fucking jail. End of story. So Roman Reigns is not going to be at WrestleMania this year. Sorry. Then Brock comes down and beats up after Roman Reigns has beat the shit out of the U.S. fucking Marshals who would just fucking shoot him in real life. So this is...
very least a taser.
My immersion is gone. Then Brock comes down, and Roman is so dumb he can't look for keys in pockets to get out of the handcuffs. Cool. Your main eventer's a retard.
It's not even that. It's you're trying to make Brock into the heel. Brock came down and saved the U.S. Marshals. What the hell?
Yeah, I'm getting to that too. So yeah, Brock comes down, saves the cops, beats up a defenseless, air quotes, defenseless guy who's handcuffed
Well, the problem
and can't get even 1 degree of heat. The crowd didn't even pop for it. They just kind of went, hey.
Well, and this is the problem with the whole, you had Roman Reigns handcuffed, beat up 3 U.S. Marshals, not even cops, U.S. Marshals. So why am I supposed to buy that he's actually defenseless?
Yeah.
Why am I supposed to buy that a handcuffed Roman Reigns is not able to take on Brock Lesnar?
Yeah. So you got 2 choices. Either Roman Reigns can show up a fugitive of justice next week after being stretchered out of the fucking building, so he's indestructible and above the law. Who the fuck does he think he is, Steven Seagal? There were massive "you deserve it" chants while he's being carted out. So your angle is dead. All of the one cool thing you did to get him over is dead.
Yep.
Absolutely dead. Roman Reigns will never be over.
I think he could be over, but you would have to literally de-push him for like a solid decade.
Yeah.
Like, not have him be like, Vince would have to convince us that he's forgotten about Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and you would have to literally do jobs to new guys.
And then, like, 7 years later, maybe, like, if Roman progresses, becomes better at what he's doing, because there's a lot to Roman that's actually good, he could get over that way.
Well, it's not even, and I'm really sick of saying this, and we're on this topic way too long, but it's not even really his fault. It is to a degree, because he doesn't have the balls to step up and say, listen, this isn't fucking working. Let's do something else. Or he's just there to collect a paycheck and he's a lazy fuck. Or they just, like, I don't know what it is. They can't book him to save his life. They had him come out and call Brock Lesnar a bitch. And a crowd popped huge. He was the realest thing. To steal a catchphrase, he's the realest one in the room. And nobody could touch him that night. They come out the next night and it's all fucking garbage. And they've thrown it away, pissed on its head, and lit the dumpster on fire. What the fuck? Who's in charge around here? Oh, wait, an 80-year-old man who hasn't been cool since 1972.
More or less sums it up. Then we had an Alexa Bliss and Mickie James promo.
I muted the shit out of this. I was just watching Mickie James be the skanky MILF. That was awesome.
Yeah, this was basically the "I'm sorry I didn't do it sooner" Jeff Jarrett style, basically.
Yeah.
Basically, she said, I used Nia, and I have in brackets here in my notes here. Which, again, can we please decide if she's chicken shit or not? Because she's making the Giant angry, which doesn't work with anything she does in the ring.
Correct.
So, yeah, I mean, I was going to save it for Mixed Match Challenge, but she's the female equivalent of Miz. This is the problem.
Yeah.
They're good on the mic. They're good at generating heat. But the fact that they are either unable or not allowed to ever back it up in the ring means that at some point I'm tired of it.
Yeah, so that feeds back into your promos, and no matter what you say, I don't believe you anymore. And then your promos that were good are now shit because it
just gives you a disjointed character. Like, is she a chicken shit heel who doesn't think she can win, or is she a heel that actually has confidence in herself? Like, yeah, they keep going back and forth on it.
I don't get it.
Then we had Asuka versus Alexa Bliss. I have not a ton to say about the match. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't particularly good.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I could not be bothered to pay attention to it, really.
And Bliss winds up hobbling away on a bad ankle, bad knee, whatever they're going to claim. She was running later, so obviously she wasn't really that hurt. Gets counted out. Nia Jax comes out to attack her. She gets away, but for the most part, but Mickie gets the crap beaten out of her. Which again plays into, I'm just sad with how Mickie James is in this role. And, what else we got here? Oh, then Alexa Bliss runs backstage and tells Kurt Angle she wants Nia arrested. So,
yeah.
That actually made sense with her character, to be honest.
Just got a message from our potential guest. He was doing some work stuff.
Ah, that is unfortunate.
I've inquired whether or not next week will work out. We'll see if we can finalize some details.
Alrighty. Then we had Kurt Angle basically calls Bliss a bitch, and then makes the obvious Mania match with Nia Jax. So, mission accomplished.
Called that 2 weeks ago.
Then we have, it was obvious. Then we had Braun Strowman talking about how he carved his path of destruction to Mania. Management has informed him that he does have to have a partner, even though he does not believe that he needs a partner. The bar eventually comes out. We get some stuff about, talking about chemistry and stuff. The crowd gets a kick out of Cesaro saying, "You have to sleep together." Sheamus telling them to grow up, because basically he meant them being roommates.
Correct.
And then, anyways, this ended up in a Braun Cesaro match, which was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna put one person in the ring to have a match with Braun, it better be fucking Cesaro. Human Horse versus the Wrecking Machine from Hell.
Yeah, it was a really well done match. There's not really any spots to really talk about, but just good stuff. Good solid psychology, good impactful moves, believable match, and Braun gets the power slam to get the victory.
Correct.
Then we had some Matt Hardy compound highlights, basically, and prepare the battlefield for annihilation. Then we had the Revival versus Titus Worldwide, the most wasted over thing outside of Rusev Day.
Yeah, I mean, how many times can Titus O'Neil get over and then them just piss it away like they have dysentery?
He touched Vince McMahon. He's doomed for life.
Jesus. Hashtag free Titus.
Yeah, I was distracted at the beginning of this match by Coachman and Corey Graves talking about how the Revival is evolving or is not evolving and does not like new things or does like new things, and it's pretty dumb.
Yeah, pretty much. And just to touch back on the Titus Worldwide thing, why are they only using Dana Brooke as just like essentially eye candy? I'm not complaining. She is gorgeous. However, she is legitimately built like a brick shithouse and could do, like, shouldn't they be the top heel tag team on fucking Raw? Because she could cheat. She could legitimately do damage to any male competitor they're up against.
Yeah, outside of like a Braun Strowman or something.
Yeah, exactly. But
or,
I mean,
or the
she
bar.
could. Yeah, I mean, you could work a way around that even with the bar, but she could legitimately just go up and some sort of massive lariat with her giant arms that are awesome.
Well, like in this match, I could totally buy her like clipping the knee of Dash or Dawson and taking them out.
Yeah,
well,
I don't even want. Yeah, but I don't even want like, I'll just grab your foot and trip you. I want her to do a move.
Oh no, I meant like a chop block.
Oh, I see. Well, yeah, you can do chop block. You could do. I'm kind of in favor of like a lariat of some sort, but that's me.
Anyways, the Revival winds up winning and then declaring they will be the first tag team to ever enter and win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
I'm wondering what it is with this co-champion thing that they're pushing at like big time in the last 6 months.
Freaking weird.
I mean, it kind of worked. It worked really well for Jericho and Owens. Worked great. And then they decided they're going to do it with Owens and Zayn. Well, they teased it anyway, and now they're going to do it with Wilder and Dawson. And I want to say that there was one other or maybe two other things in there, but I can't remember them, and I'm probably wrong. It's just, I don't understand this co-champion thing that seems to be Vince's new... Maybe this is the new incest angle for Vince.
I don't know. Mark Henry's going into the Hall of Fame. That's cool. I must say, does just me or does the Hall of Fame class this year seem very big?
Yeah, I thought they'd announced everybody, and they're like, "Oh, and Mark Henry. Oh, okay, and Mark Henry. All right." I don't, he obviously deserves to be in there. That guy, I'm a fan of the idea of Mark Henry. I didn't really enjoy anything he did when I was watching wrestling at the time, but looking back on it, the guy was given giant silver platters full of donkey crap. And he just sat there with a grin on his face and got paid all that money. Vince tried to drive him out of wrestling by a public humiliation for a decade and a half. And he's like, Whatever. You signed the contract. You're paying me all that money. I ain't give a fuck. You're gonna make me fuck an old woman? All right.
I'm down with this.
You're gonna pay me $55,000 just to do the fucking spot?
most
Probably more.
Most overpaid actor in porn. That porn didn't happen.
Yeah, well, he probably, actually, you know what? I bet you he got paid way the fuck more than $55,000 just for that vignette, just to be on TV. I bet that's true.
Probably. Then we had Bayley and Sasha Banks get a little face-to-face time in the ring, which Banks is like, I was taught to sell stuff face-to-face. I'm like, this does not work with her character. She's the boss. She's the backstabber. What the hell?
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand what Sasha Banks is supposed to be. Yeah. I understood it when she had the feud with Charlotte, which was a great feud. And I understood exactly what her place was in that. And she's had sort of guest big face spots for the last year and a half since then. And like she'd be like, we need a little something. And Sasha Banks, woo! And she'd just be added to stuff as like the big face, like kind of the female John Cena. Like, we need to add a little something to this. John Cena, yay, Sasha Banks. Now I don't get it. Like they won't pull the trigger on a storyline at all these days. So I don't know what the fuck's going on here. And
I would be more okay with them like this long term booking because excuse me, I have to sneeze.
Grotesque.
The deal here being that there probably really isn't room for them to have a match at Mania, so you don't want to pull the trigger yet, and you want to delay it a little bit. But you need to do something with this, because we're just kind of circling over and over again the same ground with these two. You know, Banks stabbed her in the back. Bayley doesn't like that. But Banks says it's all business, but Bayley says it looked like you enjoyed it. And we're just kind of going around and around on that.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at the WrestleMania card as it stands. And yeah, there's no fucking room for them on there. I mean, the last let me see here. The last 7 matches all have titles involved. Wait, 8. Yeah, so 8 of the 9 matches on the card. I'm assuming the Andre the Giant and the Women's Battle Royal will be on the pre-show, which is only going to be 17 hours, so don't worry. I'm assuming those are both going to be on the pre-show as well as like 2 other matches. So there's no reason to do that on the pre-show. There's no reason to pull the trigger there. But I'm just confused on which one of these two is supposed to be going heel.
I mean, I assume it's Banks because she turned on Bayley twice. She kind of healed out against Asuka at the Rumble as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're going with the Bayley heel run, which does have a certain level of interest to me, you've done it wrong. Because you've made not so much that you made me want to cheer for Bayley necessarily, but you've made me want to cheer against Banks because she has been very heelish. So to end up with Bayley be the one to go heel, I feel like that would be terrible. Maybe you can make that work, but I think that would be terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, well, most things they do are terrible, so why change now?
And Banks makes him a much better heel than she ever has made a face. So
correct. That being said,
this is just going back to her natural alignment.
All that being said, the match itself was fine. I didn't have a problem. I don't remember anything being a problem. Even Sonya Deville wasn't a problem, which is new.
Yeah, they did a tag team match against, of course, the typical Absolution tag match. Other than, Deville getting to be like super badass for a bit, which I expect them to keep trying to do, but it's not going to work. So why can we not just turn this around, basically? And there's a little dissension between Bayley and Banks, of course. And Bayley would have gotten the finish at one point in the match, but Sasha's tied up with the referee distracting her. And then Bayley got shoved into the boss, and Sonya kicks her upside the head for a 3 count. So, yeah, it was fine. It's good. Outside of my typical Sonya Deville issues, where I think Frankly, if you're gonna get actual mileage out of this girl, you either need to teach her how to implement MMA in wrestling. You don't have anyone to do that, or you need to just kind of revamp her, hit the reset button.
Yeah, it would have been. Well, I think it would have been a good idea if somebody would have taught her how to do MMA in the first place, but that's just me.
Then we had John Cena, and he wants his answer from the Undertaker.
Correct.
Basically, his argument is Taker's name always has meaning in the WWE. The fans want the match, and Taker is just being disrespectful to Cena and the fans by not answering. And he calls Taker a coward, and he's begging the Taker to answer his challenge in some way. Kane comes out, chokeslams Cena. That's, I guess, our answer for doubt.
Yeah, that was really, really random, and I'd appreciate if they stopped using Kane for stuff. Because none of it makes sense. He is brutally shoehorned into crap. I mean, it makes sense in the history of The Undertaker and Kane. Makes total sense. Why he's showing up to do it now? Fuck knows, buddy. He's been talking for a month already.
Pretty much. Probably political necessity.
As in, he knows he's not going to get elected, so he's going back to the wobbly wobbly bee.
Hey, maybe. Then we had a Miz promo time. He called out Rollins and Balor by their old indie names, although he butchered Balor's name and called him Prince Nevitt.
Yeah, well, that's Miz.
And we end up with a six-man tag. The Club versus the Miztourage. Rollins out on commentary. This was a pretty decently worked match, although I didn't like the fact that we basically opened up with Balor being babyface in peril, getting beaten up by Axel and Dallas. And I don't mean that he was getting beat up by them at the same time. I mean, he was getting worked over by them individually. And it's like,
yeah.
Man,
isn't that kind of...
That is incongruent.
Looking at the match lineup, shouldn't that be Luke Gallows' job?
Or Anderson.
I would not believe that either Bo Dallas or Curtis Axel or The Miz could ever even lay a hand on Carl Anderson in any kind of situation.
I don't believe they could do it to Gallows either. I mean, Gallows is a big boy.
Well, yeah, but he's shorter than the rest of them.
No, Gallows is the tall one, boss.
Yeah.
Anderson's
what
short.
Was I? Yeah, did I not say Anderson?
You want Gallows to be the babyface in peril is what you said.
Oh, my bad.
There you go.
Sorry, wrong guy. In my head, I totally saw Carl Anderson the whole time I was saying that too. Wow. I obviously haven't had enough to drink.
That's what I said. Like, Anderson should be the bad babyface.
Yeah, no, I don't know what the fuck that was about. That was weird. Because I swear to God, the whole time I'm seeing Carl Anderson's face in my head. The whole time I'm saying that.
Or, I mean, if you want Balor to be the babyface in peril, have the heels do something nefarious at least. Or as much as we dislike The Miz, he's supposed to be a somewhat big deal, have The Miz be beating on him. Because that's at least the match at Mania. Because right now, you've actually made me less interested in Balor in that three-way because he was getting beaten up by the lackeys.
Yeah, and I mean, they've jobbed out Axel and Bo Dallas so hard for years that there's no reason to believe that they're capable of anything.
Yeah. Well, here's
let alone against the fucking Club.
Here's the thing. Balor beat Dallas and Axel not that long ago in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Yeah. And now he's having troubles with one of them.
Yeah, I don't understand, and they can't book to save their goddamn lives.
Balor does get the win by rolling up Miz, so he's got a win over Rollins and Miz over the last 2 weeks, which means he's not winning at Mania. Post-match, the Miztourage beats up Gallows, Anderson, and Balor, and Seth Rollins comes to the rescue to clean house and stomp the Miz. So Rollins gets to look super strong, Balor gets the win over Miz. Miz win confirmed at Mania.
Pretty much. It's the worst decision, so that's what they'll do.
So, yeah, this was the bad booking for the night, I guess, along with the Roman Reigns bit.
Yeah, I just don't... I mean, everything else was... We nitpick on the only nitpick we have about the women's tag match was the... What are they doing with Bayley and Banks? None of that makes sense. Except for the fact that Sasha Banks is clearly a heel. But they're not letting her be a heel. Just like every other heel they have on fucking roster. I don't understand. So I don't know what the hell. But other than that, yeah, no, there was no bad matches. It was just like Asuka versus Bliss was ignorable because it doesn't. Asuka has to win. There is no choice. Asuka will win that match. So that's boring. And that's about it. Like I really wasn't paying too much of attention to the main of or the club versus the Miz Taraj because again it didn't interest me at all. So yeah, that's about it. Like your front and your back were very uninteresting, and everything else you just kind of is a little confusing. But the matches themselves were okay or good in some cases.
Then we're heading into the home stretch. We get Matt Hardy sailing Skarsgård across the Lake of Reincarnation.
Wonderful!
And then we get Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle package.
Giggity.
I kind of enjoyed actually them using Ronda's slightly darker past about her living in a car and stuff for some stuff. They got
again. They don't have a choice there. They have to do that sort of thing. There's no way that people don't know about that, and if they don't, you need to get that up front to get your baby face over.
Yeah. In fairness,
again, it's stuff that it's so predictable. I can see it coming 3 weeks ago, and I'm not interested now.
In fairness, the UFC really never exploited that part of her background nearly as much as I expected them to.
Yeah, that is weird. Although they got to have like a strong competitors, can't show weakness.
Then we have Bray Wyatt heading to the Hardy compound for the final deletion. Or whatever. What was it called?
Ultimate deletion.
Ultimate deletion. Pardon me. Final deletion was the one with Jeff Hardy.
Correct. As long as nobody's calling it the final solution, I think we're good.
Bray Wyatt, I knew you'd come. So basically, I'm not really going to talk much about the match itself, just the story work here, because the match itself is largely forgettable. It's all about the story work here.
Yeah, it was a kind of an extended walk and brawl, which I'm not always opposed to if you find cool shit to do along the way.
So we had a bit of a lap. We got a bit of a lap off until we actually get to the wrestling. Bray got the upper hand, but Vanguard 1 comes in to initiate Operation Boomstick with the fireworks. And they brawl over to the dilapidated city, which is Bray Wyatt's shack. Which was a nice callback.
I enjoyed that a great deal. And Bray Wyatt went, whoa, look at the pretty colors. It's all gray and shit.
So yeah, Bray gets the better of the battle in dilapidated city, and we head to the land of obsolete men. Where Matt Hardy is just avoiding Bray and running away from him, hiding behind stuff. And it's basically hide and go seek.
Indeed. I was trying to read the headstones, but I couldn't quite make anything out. It was too artistic, so I don't know if...
Shannon Moore was one of them.
Oh, okay. I was trying to find out, like, is this all from the final deletion? I couldn't quite make any of them out. They're all graffitized, and I couldn't read them.
Yeah, I managed to make out Shannon Moore for sure, because I was pretty sure Shannon Moore would be in the obsolete man.
Yeah.
But the rest I don't know. Bray Wyatt catches up to him in the woods, starts to beat his ass, and we end up in the Dome of Deletion, which is
indeed
Matt's shed, basically.
Yeah, well, it's not just a shed; it's like a training shed.
Training shed, yes. And
got a ring.
Matt manages to avoid getting slammed through a piano that happens to be there, and starts to use the Hardy weapon of choice, a ladder, to beat him down. And after some debate between the chair of wheels and the mower of lawn, he tries to kill Bray Wyatt with the mower of lawn. But Bray recovers, does his spider walk thing, and then beats Matt down. And it's off to the Lake of Reincarnation. Where Vanguard 1 makes another appearance, distracting Bray long enough for Matt to disappear around Skarsgård. He flips over Skarsgård to find Senior Benjamin there, who tosses him a blow-up globe and starts singing, "He's got the whole world in his hands." And this is where Jeff Hardy gets his cameo.
Indeed, because he's the one singing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's, after his DWI, there's been a lot of talk that they've just scrapped his big return. It was known that he had filmed something for the Ultimate Deletion, but not what it was or how long it was. So there's a chance that he had a bigger role and they edited him out. And there is still conjecture as to like when is he coming back? Are they going to make him go through counseling or what the fuck?
Would not necessarily be a bad idea. Jeff Hardy's a little fucked up. And then we had Matt jump in and knock down, hit the Twist of Fate, I believe, to get 3, using Skarsgård as a weapon, which is pretty good.
Correct.
And then at the end, Bray Wyatt gets knocked into the Lake of Reincarnation, where Señor Benjamin is unable to find him. So Bray Wyatt will be reincarnated as something. Please God, not Husky Harris. Please God.
That would be bad. I don't know what the hell else they could do, though.
I did have the idea that he could totally be Bray Wyatt's partner at Mania, though.
That would be... Wait, he is Bray Wyatt, though.
Braun Strowman, pardon me.
Ha-ha! You're not the only one on mental vacation.
Sure.
Oh, wait, that was me. Yeah. I think that to be unlikely. My money's on Kurt Hawkins.
Well, are we asking me what I want it to be or what it's going to be?
Going to be.
Elias.
You're probably not wrong, and it's going to suck. So, yeah, it doesn't make any sense, so that's what they're going to do. I can dig that. What would you want it to be, though?
Bray Wyatt, actually. I'd like to have some kind of storyline where maybe Bray is now under Braun.
That would be interesting, and would follow the storyline because he has been reincarnated to a previous form. Wonderful! Yeah, what if he was Husky Harris? What if he was Husky Harris for like 4 months, and then something horrible happened and he regained his powers?
See, I would be down with that if it wasn't for the fact that Husky Harris's character was so bad.
That's probably true, yeah. If I had to choose, actually, I have a strong... I am kind of going with my heart more than my gut on this one. I think you're probably right. They will do Elias. You're probably absolutely right. But from excuse me, Miskuz. From an actual storytelling point of view, what if they bring back your boy, the only women's Money in the Bank winner?
Oh, Ellsworth.
Yeah, what if they bring back Ellsworth?
That could work.
That could work. That could work even better than Curtis Axel. I mean, Kurt, what's his name?
Kurt Hawkins.
Kurt Hawkins. They have too many Kurts.
Brian Myers, a.k.a. Kurt Hawkins.
Kurt Doggy Boy. Yeah, no, I would be in favor of either of those, because then it could be Braun Strowman. I don't even want Braun Strowman to carry the team. I want the lesser member of the team to be in peril all the time. And it would be better if it was Hawkins, because A, he's still on contract. He works there. And you could have a continual... You could turn his losing streak into a winning streak. You could have an actual storyline. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah, no, I'm totally down with it being Hawkins. But if I'm picking someone, it is Bray Wyatt. That is where I would go if I were the booker.
Yeah. Oh, as a follow-up to the Ultimate Deletion on Matt Hardy's YouTube channel, he put up a new vignette which involves Señor Benjamin finding the lantern of the consumer of terrestrial entities floating in the Lake of Reincarnation and presenting it to Woken Matt Hardy, who was delighted.
Delighted. He gave it to, I want to say that was Maxwell.
I don't know. I don't remember him giving it or anything. I thought it cut at that point, but I could be wrong.
At the end, Maxwell's holding it and kind of like, ooh, my new toy.
Groovy. Which brings us to SmackDown Live, which began with the dark match of the Fashion Police and Zack Ryder facing Moyo Rawley and the Lunchables. Which makes me upset because I don't get to hear the shoosh on TV. So that's bad. That's bad.
Yeah. That would have been a good TV match. I'm a little disappointed that wasn't there now.
I think they probably flip-flopped that with the Corbin and Dillinger match just so they can get Dillinger on TV, which I'm okay with too. But I need more shoosh.
Need more shoosh. We opened up the show proper with Daniel Bryan is back.
Oh man. I'm not gonna lie, I got really emotional. Like, this was really good.
From this point onwards, I just couldn't hate the show.
Nope.
Which I wanted.
You got me. Yeah, man, that was okay. If you're gonna power rank 1 and 2, we're gonna steal from Stephen Larson here. Retirement speech versus comeback speech. Which was better?
The retirement speech was actually probably the better of the two in terms of its content, but this one was emotionally better as the return, of course.
I would agree.
He pays tribute to Brie Bella, and big ups to her for helping him being supporting wife.
Indeed.
And he doesn't make a Mania announcement yet, but he goes backstage, and Dolph Ziggler welcomes him back and says he can't wait to beat him.
Welcome to try.
So basically doing the Nakamura thing, and I need more of that. I need like everyone on the roster to just be doing that.
Zigzag to head.
And then we had Rusev versus Nakamura with AJ on commentary. This was a step down from their Fastlane match, but it was still good quality.
Yeah, it was a bit weird to have this as the curtain jerker, but okay. I didn't have any problem with the match whatsoever. Rusev continually brings the noise every single goddamn time he's in the ring. Nakamura too. This seemed to be. I was more in favor of this match than. I don't remember a ton about the Fastlane match, but this match seemed to be finally Rusev working with Nakamura to kind of highlighting the best of Nakamura, whereas not a lot of guys even want to work with him. And not a lot of guys, when they do work with him, can really wrestle with him. Nakamura really has to slow down and really has to kind of take them through the match. It's really weird to watch, and I don't understand why that's happening. I thought they hired professionals.
I think to a degree it's Nakamura's style, because I even remember in New Japan, Nakamura would have the occasional kind of stinker. Like, I think it's the irony that Nakamura is a really good wrestler, but he's a really good wrestler who almost needs the right stylistic matchup or another really talented wrestler to really, really blow the roof off the place. Whereas like an Okada or an Omega, and Omega's proven this, can wrestle a broomstick to a 3-4 star match.
Fuck yeah, I can. Invisible Man can wrestle Invisible Man to 5-star match.
Has wrestled a ladder to a title match.
That is true. That is not untrue. Man, I've watched the match Omega had, off on a tangent. I've watched the match that Omega had with the Kid. It's great. I enjoy the shit out of that match because I know what it is and I can appreciate the masterful performance that he put on and the fucking on-point razor's edge technique that he had to use with a child. But apparently some older people don't enjoy it.
Cornette.
I mean, I didn't say that, but it's possible.
I have no shame on throwing shade.
Correct.
Yeah, again, I thought the Fastlane match was a better match, but this one did highlight Nakamura as a killer a bit more, so mission achieved in that regard.
Yeah, I think what the difference is that this was a much, I don't know about much shorter. I don't remember how long that one went, but this was a shorter match. Therefore, they were able to like really condense things into where they should be and just work a match that way.
More showcasey.
Yeah.
And they're beating down Nakamura. AJ's doing the slow help thing, but
really slow.
Nakamura doesn't need your help, buddy, because he beats up English and Rusev. Then we had probably the dumbest segment of the night, but again, I couldn't hate the show after Daniel Bryan. Charlotte and Natty backstage. Natty basically being a kind of dumb heel again, and I've said this before. I have no problem with the delusional heel. It's that all of your heels are delusional, and at that point, I'm like, where are the drugs that are clearly in the water supply?
Yeah. All your heels are delusional. All your foreigners are heels.
Except Nakamura.
Except for Nakamura and Mustafa Ali
and Asuka.
Wait, Mustafa Ali's not a foreigner, but he looks like one. Just like your boy.
Grand Metalik is a foreigner who's a face.
Is he, though?
He's a face.
Okay. Is he a foreigner? Is he not from California?
He's Mexican.
he's like the only legit Mexican?
He's the only Mexican in the Lucha House Party.
Nice. I can't ever remember. All right, because Lunchbox is from Puerto Rico and the other guy's from California.
Correct.
Yeah, there you go. And Mustafa Ali from Chicago, but his name's Mustafa Ali, so he should legit be heel. But your boy De Niro, his name I can't, Davari, clearly also, isn't he from Michigan?
He's from Michigan.
He's from fucking Michigan.
Yeah.
But he's a foreign heel. Because he's okay.
Persian.
Yeah.
Mind you, I will say this. He's the Muhammad Hassan character, but at least he is actually Persian, whereas Muhammad Hassan was Italian.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a oh fucking shit. The comedian Indo-Torontonian
Russell Peters?
Russell Peters apparently has gone to Italy a couple different times, and they all think that people just come up to him speaking Italian because they think he's Italian because he's of the same same sort of complexion and same.
If you're down in the south of Italy, they do look very Middle Eastern. Not so much in the north where it's a little more lighter, a little more blonder. But I work with a guy from northern Italy, and he's German, really. Basically, yeah.
He probably Austrian, yeah.
That's where all the Germanic and Gaelic blood or Gallic blood settled in Italy. But the south is more it's more Muslim actually. It's where all the African countries have come to invade over the years and create their own separate gene pool.
Geography facts with Byron and Mike.
Yeah. That'd be an interesting show.
That would be an interesting show. We do a separate podcast. I kind of was halfway paying attention because they don't let Natty do anything that makes sense and always embarrass her. So that is dumb, and I don't pay a fuck attention. I do remember Charlotte Flair clearly giving her a title shot. Or at least, maybe not a title shot, but clearly agreeing to a match. Yeah. And then we had the Baron Corbin versus the Ty Dillinger, which I was fine with.
Then we had the AJ Nakamura backstage deal.
No, okay, probably that happened, yeah.
Nothing really serious here. Nakamura says, I didn't need saving. AJ says, yeah, I know, and you'll beat me at WrestleMania. And then he looks at AJ and goes, you should have more confidence. But yes.
I enjoyed that a great deal. And then we had the Baron Corbin versus your Tay Dillinger. I think you were a bit more down on this than I was because I knew that Ty Dillinger wasn't going to win because they can't let the guy who's popular get over.
I wasn't at all down with this.
I seem to remember
it was just there, is all.
Yeah, that's not untrue. Spoiler alert: we were watching SmackDown together for a change, and I just remember you kind of not being, you just kind of which.
Well, I said that before the match even started because it was like Dillinger's going to lose, and this is not going to be anything we haven't seen before. Because
such a Debbie Downer.
Well, it's that this again highlights just the lack of depth of the roster. Is we've seen Dillinger and Corbin feud a couple of times, and they can have good matches. But
and this was for the 2 minutes and 29 seconds they had. This was also good. There was nothing in here that was bad at all. This was a good match.
Yeah, no, I was.
But it's more of the same. I think Ty Dillinger got to showcase a little bit extra in here than he usually does. He did a few different things here and there. But, I mean, it's pretty obvious you got to have Baron Corbin winning because Vince likes big sweaty men.
Well, that and you've done very little to build Dillinger up to anything.
Yeah, but I mean, this would be... that's how they started Sami Zayn off on SmackDown, though, is they feuded him with Baron Corbin.
Yeah, Zayn was something when he came to SmackDown, because he had been something at Raw with the feud with Braun Strowman, and actually getting a win over Braun, and also the Kevin Owens feud, and so on. Dillinger lacks that same history.
That is not untrue, but it would be a place to start.
It would be, but it's almost like when they let Sin Cara go over Baron Corbin, basically.
Yeah. Where is he at? Is he hurt?
Probably hurt is my thought, or he's done something dumb backstage again.
No, we'd hear about that. Jericho would probably fucking knock his ass out. Or somebody. Probably the big dog.
But that's the thing. Dillinger and Corbin are just both in a holding pattern. There's not really anything going on there.
Oh, also, Doug. I will now be referring to as the Big Doug.
The Big Doug.
Which I don't think there were any promos in the middle here, which would lead us into the Natalya versus Charlotte Flair match.
Correct.
So, spoiler alert, Natalya is now your new women's champion, and also, What's-Her-Nut lost her briefcase, because that all happened in the match.
Yeah, I was enjoying the match for the most part. I have one nitpick. There was this kind of deal where Natty did a jump over, like, basically a leapfrog, but she did like a double stomp on the top of Charlotte, and Charlotte kind of no-sold it.
Well, really yeah, but the weird thing, like, so Charlotte was sitting split-legged in the middle of the ring for zero reason. And then Natty hit the ropes, did a double stomp onto the back of Charlotte, making her forehead smash into the ground, which looked cool, or would have looked cool, if Charlotte hadn't started to go from a upright sitting position to basically already pressing her face against the mat before Natalya even made contact. For no reason. It looked dumb. It was gonna be cool as fuck, and it looked dumb as hell, and then Charlotte just no-sold it and got up and wrecked shop.
Daddy did hit a beautiful discus lariat in this, though. Really enjoyed that. And then, yeah, we had the Carmella cash-in, but
Carmella clearly passes the briefcase off to the referee, says, yes, I'm cashing it in.
They've done that before, though, and she's ended up keeping the briefcase, so...
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, like, to be clear, I totally agree with you. That should be the cash-in. That should be the failure of the first cash-in for Women's Money in the Bank, which is dumb, but at the same time, I'm not putting the belt on Carmella.
Well, no, you're totally, I'm with you there. What they could do, if they want to, in the next, I want to say 3 years... Next 3 years, this being one of them, from the first Women's Money in the Bank winner till like the third, have the first 3 of them all fuck up and lose their title shot. But you have to do it right. You have to do it in a way that makes the champion look unbeatable. Therefore, the women's division gets a continual boost. It's like, even if you have this guaranteed shot, the champion of the women's division, whatever, if they have 2 champions or what have you, the champion is bad fucking ass. And it doesn't fucking matter if you have an advantage or not, because you probably won't win.
Which you can pretty much do when you have Asuka on the roster, you have Charlotte on the roster, and you have a couple other women that you could build up to that level. Maybe if Ronda actually ends up being good in the ring.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be a really interesting and new way to go. Rather than, I don't know what the percentage is on cash-ins.
Pretty fucking high. I think it's like 2 failures.
Yeah, so you've only had like 2, maybe 3 or 4 failures the whole time you've been doing this?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just Baron Corbin and Mizdow are the only 2.
Okay.
And then Ken Anderson failed when he lost the briefcase.
Yeah, he lost the briefcase and Edge got the briefcase, and then Edge cashed it in and won.
Yeah, so that's like half.
Yeah, so it's pretty much guaranteed if you win the men's Money in the Bank, you're going to win the title. Pretty much guaranteed. So it would be new and interesting. And if anybody, please, dear God, in that office could book for this, for the love of God, please book something correctly. You could, over a short couple of years, you could build the women's division up to just as credible, if not more, than the men's division.
Yep.
In a totally different way.
Anyways, the finish came. Charlotte deals with Carmella, but gets rolled up by Natty for the 3, and that's where our whole Natty is your new champion comes into play.
Yeah, Natty's your new champion, and What's-Her-Nut lost the briefcase, because she clearly cashed in!
Then we had Luke Harper versus Jimmy Uso.
I didn't care. I really wasn't into this match at all.
The match started during a commercial, which is my first gripe.
Yeah. Well, they've done nothing with Harper and Rowan at all. Zero. They've squashed little kids that have been in the ring or some shit. I don't know. I stopped paying attention after week 2.
They got a win over the Ascension and a win over the Fashion Police. But
yeah. That's way back. Way back in the ancient history of wrestling. As in, like, what was it, like 2 months ago, 3 months ago?
A month and a half, I think.
Oh, it's been that. I'm pretty sure it's been at least 2, but I could be wrong. Because they brought him in after the Rumble, didn't they?
I think they were around a little bit before the Rumble.
Well, that was like 6 months ago.
That was like squashy.
Yeah, exactly. So I stopped paying attention when the Fashion Brothers there, the Hammer Bros. If we can go back to the Hammer Bros from Mario Brothers.
I was going to make a joke about that, about a slow-pitch beer league softball team with the Hammers.
So the Hammer Bros have been just like squashing random teams that are jobbers, and thus I don't know how they did it.
They haven't even been beating teams. Like I said, they have like a win over the Ascension, a win over the Fashion Police, and then everyone else is literally enhancement talent.
Yeah, I don't get it, and I don't. Furthermore, I don't get how they've made squashing jobbers into boring bullshit. Squashing jobbers should be exciting. Squashing jobbers shows how dominant you are.
The problem is at some point you're going to get bored with it because they kind of just do the same thing. They go out, they bull rush you, they slam you, and it's like, okay, that was cool the first time, and the second time maybe. We're on like the 7th time.
Yeah, well, I mean, the third time you come out and you show me something different. You don't do the exact same 3 moves. You don't slap the guy in the face and then body slam the guy on top of the guy.
This is basically the Kevin Nash jobber spree, where it's, I have 7 moves, I'm going to hit those 7 moves, and that's really it.
Yeah, so I didn't care about this match for that reason, that I don't buy them as a credible badass team because I haven't seen them be badass against anybody.
That is the thing, that I think that they're oversold based on what they have actually done booking-wise.
Yeah, and their hokey gimmick is fucking hokey and has been hokey since day one. And also, I don't buy into the Usos because, yes, they are good and serviceable in the ring, but their gimmick is nonsense. So I don't care what lockdown with the lockdown,
Welcome
the lockdown.
To the Uso Penitentiary.
They should. Why don't
that was a pretty dumb line right there when they did the welcome to the Uso Bludgeon Brothers. Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary. I'm like, you want to lock yourself in a prison with Luke Harper and Eric Rowan? That's a bad call.
Locked in here with me. Why don't we just make it the Uso Confectionery? Because that would make just as little sense as the Uso Penitentiary. These are Samoans. Are Samoans known for jail?
Not particularly.
I mean, there's some stereotypes in America that we probably don't need to go into, but Samoans and jail don't really... No, that's just not a... No? I'm just going to go with no.
Not really. It's not one I'm aware of. If someone wants to correct us, go ahead, but I'm not really aware of that.
If Samoan Americans have this reputation of just being, criminals and going to jail all the time,
I know there are some prisons that are kind of run by Samoan gangs, but probably more frequently Hispanic gangs or African American gangs. Or even Asian gangs.
Yeah. So I really didn't care about this match. I didn't care who won or lost. It doesn't matter. We know that the Bludgeon Brothers are going to win the titles at Mania because they have to. Yeah. You have no choice. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, and it's not even really a good thing. It's not like Asuka winning the title, which, that's the only outcome that makes sense. But in this case, it's like, it's the only outcome that makes sense, but I'm not going to be hyped about it. So you failed.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get that, and wasn't interested.
Harper got the win with the big discus lariat. Ironically, Natty's discus lariat looked better.
You're not wrong.
And I was a little bit worried when Jay hit like this outside super kick on Harper, and then Jimmy followed up with one, and they put him down. I'm like, oh, are they giving the Usos a singles win? And then Harper kicked out. Thank God.
Yeah, which again makes the super kick look stupid. So
the super kick's down right now. This boy down.
Yeah, that's true.
We confirmed the triple threat match with Jinder Mahal being added to the U.S. title match for Mania.
Big fucking surprise. No fucking point.
Yeah, then we had the Mahal promo time, which means an endless stream of bullshit, and that's what we got.
I skipped it.
Bobby Roode, Orton come out, beatdown stuff. It's just
skibbity.
Nothing good happened here. Becky and Naomi versus the Riot Squad. this is not... I have nothing wrong with this match.
No, not at all.
But I will say that this was when they took the opportunity to be like, these 4 women are all in the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royale. Then why the hell did Becky, or was it Naomi or Becky? One of them lost. I think it was Naomi. Naomi lost a qualifying match to Carmella. So what the hell was the point of that if everyone's just declares?
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, no. Carmella's not in the... I'm looking at the list right now. The only people in the Wrestlemania Women's Battle Royale is Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Natalya, Hubie Hyatt, and Sarah Logan.
Okay, it was Naomi beat Carmella then. But like there was a qualifying match for a spot in the Battle Royale, and now everyone else is just declaring.
The Royale.
Anyways, Logan ends up tapping out. Perfectly fine match, but I did put a note here. The Riot Squad is super cold at this point. Like super.
Yeah, well, they've shifted all the heat onto Ruby Riot herself, which is probably the way it should be.
I'd still have her her lackeys are being turned into the Mr. Raj a little bit here, where it's like, if I'm going to buy you for anything, I need some wins. I need some credibility.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the wrong time of year. You can't have these people fucking win. You can't. Because...
do the match right now.
Exactly. Give fucking... Well, I mean, you can't give Harper any more time because then he doesn't look like a killer. You should have given Dillinger and Corbin a lot more time, and you should have given Rusev and Nakamura a lot more time.
And to a degree, I also have to say is... I think you can. This isn't necessarily the wrong time. Like, can Becky and Naomi not eat a pin right now? Because I assure you, we pinned Becky plenty of times, and this makes me believe that she can eat a pin.
Yeah, they job Becky out repeatedly. They've also jobbed out Naomi repeatedly, but I mean, it's kind of to be expected because they took a real chance on her and put the title on her, and it went nowhere. Because she is the black hole of charisma. I don't know what it is, but she manages to take all of this flash and pomp and circumstance and it's real boring. I don't know what it is.
Then we finish off with Daniel Bryan, Sammy, and KO. We get a little bit where Bryan is informed that Owens and Sammy are there, that he will meet them in the ring. He had told Charles Robinson earlier to find them.
Indeed.
And then he puts them over. Like, they put him over. He puts them over as like the dream team. And then he fires them.
Yarp.
We get a prolonged beatdown, which was really good. Really good. Particularly, I want to give kudos to Sami Zayn for selling me that. Like, for a second there, I thought this would bring Sami over to the light side. And then, no, it didn't. I'm still a sociopath.
Yep, I enjoyed that a great deal. Sami Zayn continues to be a revelation of heeldom. He is fantastic, and I love him.
And they're really selling the firing angle because they actually took them off the Superstars page on the website.
That is a good move. Oh, KO also has taken everything off all of his social media about WWE completely, and changed
Kevin Steen again.
Yeah. Twitter's back to Kevin Steen.
So
give him a Steenizer.
Kayfabe is slightly alive.
I think KO's the only one actually doing it, which makes me happy.
I need El Generico back on Twitter, damn it.
See.
Then we had Mixed Match Challenge, which is Team Little Big versus Mizka. This was an odd match. I enjoyed it for what it was, but as you stated at the top, a lot of convolution kind of had to be. A lot of hoops had to be jumped through here.
Yeah, it can't. Well, for one thing, you can't put Asuka in this tournament. You can't.
I would. Oh, I agree. I agree. At the start, I thought it was weird because after watching like 2 weeks of the Mixed Match Challenge, I was realizing we saw it particularly. The best example was Goldust and Mandy Rose. this was like a real chance to kind of let people further down the card actually do a lot with this and have some fun and enjoy it. Yeah. And it would make the tournament a little bit more unpredictable if you removed your kind of big stars, like your Braun Strowman and your Asukas and anyone who's like holding a title. Like I thought that like I wouldn't have had Miz in the tournament either. I would have had like no champions. None of your big like contenders, and honestly, see if stars kind of shake out on this because we really saw some great performances through this tournament. We talked about Rose Gold, but also we could talk about, to be honest, Bayley and Elias was surprisingly good, and a number of others, and of course Rusev Day, and that would have been freaking fantastic. But instead, a lot of the matches were pretty predictable as to you knew who was going to go over.
Yeah.
In this case, Asuka's streak had to continue because it's not ending before Mania.
There's
Mania either, but if you
there's rumors that they want to extend her streak through to next WrestleMania at the minimum.
I'm fine with that.
Indeed.
And the other thing is that you also knew that Miz wasn't going to pin Braun.
Correct.
So, like, we not only did we know what team was going over, but we knew that it would be Asuka pinning Bliss. Like, so there's a lot of
predictability also something you can't do, which is something they did twice this week. You cannot weaken your champions before Wrestle-fucking-Mania, and they did both of them.
Well, and you're also gonna have the problem is that at some point Charlotte or Bobby Roode's gonna have to eat a pin.
Bobby Roode ain't got no title.
Yeah, but you're building him up as the big U.S. title threat. Like I wouldn't have, and he was the champion at the start of this tournament.
Yeah, so I don't none of this, and also the fact that charities are associated with it. They're giving money to charities, and they're giving more money to charities depending on who goes further in the tournament. Isn't that? I don't want to say illegal because it's not illegal to just donate money to charities, but there's something not right there.
There is something definitively not right there.
You would think. Well, who's Connor the Crusher? Who's representing that one?
Connor's Cure. I'll pull it up. Fill some time. I'll pull it up.
Yeah. So whoever, that's the WWE charity, run and organized by WWE. So whoever is representing that is going to win the tournament.
Connor's Cure is Bliss and Strowman.
See, so they're going to win the tournament.
Well, they didn't win the tournament.
Yeah. Well, just if you're looking at it from the outset of the tournament, right? They announce the brackets. They announce who's representing who. Cool. So Connor's Cure is going to win the tournament. It has to. Oh wait, you didn't put Asuka on that. You put Asuka in the tournament like a fucking bunch of
bizarrely, here's the other thing: is Asuka and the Miz, which is going to be the team that wins to keep Asuka's streak going, are representing Rescue Dogs Rock.
Which I'm fine with.
And that's a fine charity and everything, but
they're heels.
There are some more deserving charities in this as well. Like just thinking about it.
I mean, the Susan G. Komen people ain't going to be affording no 15 extra jets this year if you don't give them all the money.
They were Nia Jax and Apollo, so they went out in the first round.
Yeah. So Connor's Cure has to win the tournament. That's just how that is. Only you didn't put you put Asuka in the tournament, which is a massive, massive mistake. And then B, you didn't put Asuka on that charity team. Massive, 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 massive mistake. So you can't have Asuka lose, and you can't have Connor's Cure lose, because that's the one you want people to see and donate money to, and that's the one you want to give all the money to because it's yours and it's a tax write-off. It just makes financial sense. So they fucked up 1,000 ways in this one, and then they had their champion pinned on T-fucking-V. Well, not TV, but, everybody's going to see it anyway, who really gives a shit. So you had your champion pinned 2 weeks before, or a week? 2 weeks before WrestleMania?
2 weeks.
2 weeks before WrestleMania. So your champion's a piece of fucking dog shit. And your other champion you had pinned on live TV. So both of your women's champions are fucking total trash. Why the fuck would anybody watch WrestleMania? You morons.
It was pretty fun. Even with that said, neither team want. Basically, you have Miz. Miz wants none of Braun. Bliss, despite all of her talk on Raw, wants none of Asuka. And we continue to tease this kind of romance thing between Braun and Bliss, which would work a lot better if you weren't simultaneously having Bliss be a bully or body shaming bully on Raw with Nia Jax.
Yeah. Who, Nia Jax, spoiler alert, will not win at WrestleMania because cheatery and bad booking.
Anyways, Boss Club will return to the tournament to face the Road Warriors in the other semifinal.
Garbage. I demanded rose gold.
I'm okay with Boss Club, but that's not who I was voting for.
Yeah, they're just going to get jobbed out again. Who cares?
Well, I figured that with anyone who comes with a second chance vote.
Yeah.
Which actually, and there you go. That's a problematic match right there, because either you're going to have your women's champion on SmackDown lose again, or you're going to have a primary contender for the U.S. title lose, or you're going to have a primary contender for the Intercontinental title lose. Fuck.
Jesus. If you have a title, you're not allowed in one of these tournaments. If you're more part of a major winning streak storyline, you're not allowed in one of these tournaments. Those are your two basic rules. What the fuck?
I just go with the lower end roster. It allows them to do something fun.
Put Kurt fucking Hawkins in there.
Why is Kurt Hawkins not in there? Why is Bo Dallas not in there? Or Curtis Axel or something,
Somebody, god damn it. Which brings us, I believe, to 205 Live and Let Die. Which I have notes on. We open with a big-ass hype package, which I didn't bother writing anything down for.
It's a hype package. Nothing really needs to be there.
And I apologize for the bongo drums because apparently the people upstairs let their child run around constantly and scream at the top of its lungs. I don't know, male or female. All day. Literally all day. They started at 9:30 this morning. So it's just after 3 now. And I'm going to go upstairs later and have a conversation. Anyway, Lunchbox Dorito and Hideous Tatami had themselves a match because they got into a fracas last week after a match. And I have a note here that says they should probably call the Japanese team the Rising Suns. SONS, Suns.
It is better than the current team name of Lucha House Party.
Hey, you don't like the Lucha Mouse Party?
No.
Well, I don't have a total. I think it's fun. It's a throwaway. It's better than the Undisputed Era, for fuck's sake.
That's fucking true.
It's like they named the Authors of Pain and Sanity, and they're like, you know what? We're good. We can phone it in for the rest of our goddamn lives. Anyway, at one point, Itami used Yano's break, but more subtle than that. It was an initial lockup, and then Itami got pushed back into the corner, and he's calling for the break, and the ref's calling for the break, and there's break. And then there's some stuff happens, and then Itami goes back to the respect me, and I have a note here, just no,
please,
no,
God, no.
You were doing so well, and he only did it once, so I mean, I'll let it slide now. There was a brawl to the outside where your boy Vic Joseph and your boy Nigel McGuinness were talking. And Joseph said, "Oh, you never been to a Lucha House Party?" He's like, "No, I've never been invited." And Dorado was like right there. He's like, "I got you next week, fam." So I enjoyed that. It was good. I enjoy interaction. It's, you can hear each other. It's real world. We know these things. And then there was more match happened, and then there was a DQ. Which took a long time to happen. Itami started pushing Metalik, and then Metalik pushed back. I think he fucking bumped it, or he pulled him down off the ring apron.
Yeah, pulled him off the apron. That was the DQ.
Yeah,
super soft DQ, considering some of the stuff that seconds get away with on a routine basis.
Yeah, exactly. And the ref took a while to do it too. He kind of stood there. He's like, hey.
I'm kind of okay with the referee doing it because it felt like the ref was like, should I DQ them for this bullshit?
Yeah, I guess, but it was just kind of weird. I'm used to like an instant sort of gratification type scenario. The match itself was okay. It was pretty good. There was a lot of plodding along, and not like the action wasn't connected. So yeah, and then there was some more pre-match or post-match scuffle, which I would give a shit about if the match was way better than this. But the matches aren't that good, so I don't really care if the feud continues. So I don't care about your after-action report.
Yeah, this feud is very weird to me.
Yeah, I like the concept of this, especially if they can get another Japanese fellow. We could have some I don't know, country type warfare or ethnicity warfare. Not that I'm advocating.
May I suggest a return of Tadgers?
Oh, very nice. They were actually talking with him to come back. Was it last year, year before?
They brought him back for the Cruiserweight Classic.
Oh, yeah. Then they wanted him to stay, and he's like, you know what? I like living in Japan with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
We had a Cedric Alexander promo, which I skipped because they already showed a huge hype package to open the show, and I don't care.
Oh, yeah, well, it's worse because they also had a hype package right before this for Gulak.
Yeah. So, and the Gulak hype package was actually pretty good.
It was okay.
But the Cedric hype package is always the same.
The Cedric promo was pretty damn meh. Like, just standard white meat babyface.
Yeah, and I'm skipping those. I don't need the same thing over and over again. Which led us into the match between TJP and Kenneth the Frequency Johnson, who apparently was in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Apparently, I knew,
that's what they said.
I knew I recognized him from somewhere. In fairness, like I was like the whole match going, I know you from somewhere. Where the hell is it?
Yeah, well, they said he was in the Cruiserweight Classic, but I don't know if this guy should have been anywhere near a professional wrestling ring. This guy's not good at wrestling. I'm going to put that out right now. It's like he was out of position for the first, 4 or 5 moves. I have written down here that there was a back botch driver because it was supposed to be a backdrop driver, but TJP had to kind of cradle Kenneth into position and then kind of bounce him a couple. It was like, we're going to do a move now. It was not good. And a part of the way through the match, I just noticed, he did this weird striking combo with a reverse low sweep kick. And it's at that point I noticed that Johnson's limbs don't bend. His joints don't bend.
Bit weird. By the way,
it's really fucking weird.
Can confirm, Kenneth Johnson was in the Cruiserweight Classic. He jobbed out to Akira Tozawa in the first round.
Good. And then TJP won with he was going to win with a detonation kick and then decided to do some shenanigans. But my point with the detonation kick is that TJP has the guy up on his shoulders, he boosts him up into the air, and then drops down and kicks him in the head. Well, I don't think Johnson was able to do any of that. He kind of just got thrown into the air and then stood straight up in the air because his knees don't bend. And then TJP had to reach way the fuck up to get his foot in position. It was really botchy and weird and strange, and I hope they don't have this guy back. Well, you know what? I hope if they have some sort of therapy he can go to, maybe get him a lifetime supply of glucosamine, something. Help this guy out. He's apparently very physically not well in some regard or another. And then TJP put the fucking ankle lock on him and wouldn't let go and yada 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 yada.
He held on to the sub to make Paul Harris proud.
Yeah. And my final note is I can see why this guy wasn't hired on after the Cruiserweight tourney. We had an Ali promo, which I didn't watch because it doesn't matter. He said everything. He's had promos every week for 3 weeks, and I've heard them. I don't need more. We had a Drake promos interview session. He made a fatal 4-way for next week for a number 1 contendership, I think.
Correct. It's Akira Tozawa, Kalisto, because they tried to play Peacemaker in the opener.
Yeah.
And they will be going in there with TJP and Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, instead of Roderick Strong, who they should really have instead.
Well, Roderick's busy with the whole NXT thing, and we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that, yeah, indeed. Which brought us to our main event of the evening, which was Drew Garlic versus Mustafa Ali. My initial reaction to this match is that Gulak clearly deserves the win to go to WrestleMania because his character work in the last year has been stellar.
Also, come on. Heel face at Mania would be better than the double face idea that we're going on.
Yeah, and that's my next note is that Vince also hates face champs and doesn't allow them to exist. So it only makes more sense for Gulak to win. So, yeah, whatever. That was just my first initial reaction. Also, Ali started this with a lot of rest holds, which is not anything I ever want to see from Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, I mean, every once in a while, sure. If we're going like 25 minutes Broadway or something.
Sure. Yeah, you could do that like 10 minutes into a match, but not right away when you're supposed to be the dynamic guy up against the brutal grappler.
Yeah,
you don't go for rest holds.
Well, that's the other thing is that you're in a match with Gulak. I mean, if you need rest holds, just have Gulak do them.
Yeah, and I kind of felt like I was shitting on Ali the entire match because all of my notes are all about how Gulak is going. Like he did the electric chair tornado drop thing, which was fucking cool. He did a giant discus clothesline that was better than any of the other two that we've seen all week. Oh my god. One fan, Gulak got hit to the outside, and one of the fans was like, "You disgust me. Your breath is terrible," which was funny as fuck. The last half of the match picked up a lot. It picked up a lot. There was a better quality of action, more connected storyline type stuff. Good things in the last half of the match, but the first half of the match is drug, and they went for the 15th stereotypical overdramatic come from way behind to win for the face of the week, which kind of really shit on the match. And if I was inclined to give this match 3 stars, it would now only be 2, because I'm sick of the over the top, come from behind, overdramatic. Vince wants everything to be the pinnacle of WrestleMania, but only at the end of the match every single week.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And on top of that, Ali also did a lot of super soft stuff. He, at one point, did a back roll-up on Gulak, and then Gulak kicked him off, and they were really close to the corner, so the instant reaction is to spring up onto the rope. Well, Ali did that, but it was like this weird little prancing toe tapper, like very delicate thing that kind of killed all of the dynamic just basic dynamism of the moves. The connecting bits and the transition bits, Ali would always do these super soft, incredibly delicate things that I did. Okay, well, it's pretty obvious that he let you down real soft. Thanks for pointing that out, because I needed that, I guess. So it was just not... Ali was not doing himself any favors in this match. And the way that they booked the finish and the way they booked the opening half of the match really didn't do well for me. But the last half of the match up until the very end was quite good, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought this was one of Ali's weaker outings. He's had some really, really good ones. He's a fantastic wrestler. But, yeah, didn't really deliver on a high level on this one. And, although I will say he took the face plant on the apron like a pro. Fuck. Yeah,
that was good. I think that was pretty much the point where things started to pick up, I think.
But yeah, it's gonna be Ali and Alexander at Mania, which
it's gonna be a good match.
It could be a good match, but I think the storyline of Gulak versus Alexander would be better. Although I guess with Ali talking about standing up to a bully, this kind of works in that regard, and message for the kids and all. But
how do I reach these kids?
But you could have done that kind of after Mania, maybe after Gulak's bullied him a bit. But,
yeah, that would have been good. Which brings us on to the next XT.
Yeah.
We open up with Mr. Thomas Ciampa.
Tomasino Ciampa.
Tomasino Ciampa the Fourth. And he gets all the boos. All the boos all the time. He finally puts the mic to his lips after a lot of boos and screams at the crowd that, Gargano's gone, he's fired, he's not here anymore, fuck you. He doesn't say fuck you, but it's basically what he's saying. He gets, this all took, how long did this spot go for? Like 6-7 minutes?
Probably about 6.
About 6. So like the first 3, he just kind of sat in the ring getting booed, and then did a little yelling, and then got booed more. And then the next 3 minutes he spent outside. He grabbed signs, like everybody had a Gargano printout with his logo. He grabbed one, tore it up, wiped his ass with it, threw it back in the crowd. Grabbed, I don't know if this young lady had a mental difficulty, but she looked like she might. And so if you're picking on the handicapped peoples, that's some extra heat. But I think she was obviously we know she's a plant. That's how these things work. And he grabbed a big Gargano sign and slowly tore it up in front of her face. And then he got to a Granny, and I think he grabbed Granny's sign and tore it up, and Granny just gave him the thumbs up, thumbs down, and fuck you. And that was amazing.
Let's take it off on Twitter, by the way.
Yeah, on Twitter, Ciampa, after the night, put up, is like, I will fight any Granny, anytime, anywhere. And apparently this Granny's savvy, the one that was in the crowd, and she got on Twitter, and she's like, I'll be there next week, motherfucker. So we're looking forward to Ciampa versus Granny. And then Ciampa was making his way, past the crowd to the exit, and lo and behold, it's Johnny fucking Gargano who jumps him and beats the fuck out of him. I have a couple notes. One of them says, "Tear all the signs, Rick.
Tear all your signs, Rick."
And then is like, Granny says, "No. Hey, it's Johnny. Get all the pop, Rick." So the crowd went nuts. Gargano beat the shit out of Ciampa, and then security.
Thank God for Jay Flair.
Yeah, and then security, like 5 or 6 security guys grabbed Gargano and muscled him out of the building. Which, thank God they weren't the U.S. Marshals. Otherwise, they would have gotten the shit kicked out of them.
Would have gotten the shit kicked out of them, like, beaten up, like, they would have died. They would have died.
Yeah, Gargano would have legitimately killed every U.S. Marshal on the planet because they are apparently super soft babies.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was fun. And then we got a recap of the Dusty Tag Team Classic, with notes that Tyler Bate had tweaked his knee. I think that's not kayfabe. So Mustache Mountain had to pull out of the match against the Brit and Bruisers. And then they announced that Mr. Wadwick Thwong had been petitioning that he be given a shot, and if he could get a partner, please, Mr. Eagle, please. To which it has been granted. So mystery partner plus Roderick Strong confirmed. We had an undisputed, indeed, Brit and Bruisers OP. We had an undisputed promo segment where they just basically talking shit about everybody, particularly Roddy and anybody in the tag team tournament. So there's that, and so we had the match after that was the Brit and Bruisers against Roderick Strong and Pete motherfucking Dunne.
Yeah.
I was pumped. I was jacked. I was very, very, very excited. My first note is, this is going to fucking hurt all the things. This match will be brutal. And it didn't start that way, but it kind of ended that way.
Yup.
Oh, God. I have a note in the middle here that says, fuck, Lorcan is a beast.
I got my spot of the week here where Roderick Strong goes for the rope-assisted drop kick to the outside.
Yeah.
And Lorcan just with the sidestep right into the fucking European uppercut. Nice.
Eat 1,000 dicks. Boom. Yeah, the match started out with some grappling, which was cool, because you had Birch and you had Dunn and your boy Strong and Lorcan. None of these guys are strangers to the grappling techniques. So that was fun to watch. And then at some point, the Strong Dunn tandem got the upper hand and delivered a tandem knife edge chop to the front and back of a seated. Was it Oney Lorcan?
It was Lorcan.
Yeah, that was fun too.
I like the double submission spot with Lorcan getting the Roderick Strong in the Boston Crab.
Yeah.
And the crossface from Birch on Pete Dunne.
Yeah,
that was good.
Exactly. At one point, I think they tagged Birch in, and Birch took a bit of a beating for a while. And then Lorcan got a tag back in and fucking started wrecking shop. and it was great. They packed a shit ton of action into there, including I can't remember what happened. There was it was a German suplex, and then they did a half Nelson suplex of Strong onto Dunn, which was fantastic. And this was, I'm just looking down this was the match of the night. This was the match.
This was the match of the week.
Probably match of the week. Yeah, I would not disagree with that at all. Not at all. This is the match you need to see. Out of everything, this is the one. They had a Ricochet hype package, so that's fun. He should be showing up in a week or two.
We didn't cover the end.
Why?
So Birch ends up getting caught by Dunn and like thrown into a backbreaker from Strong. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then end of Heartbreak. Well, Dunn's got Lorcan on the outside, keeping him from breaking it up. And then they celebrate in the ring. And Dunn, no handshake, no back pat. He just kind of giving that like, it's not bad shrug.
I enjoy that a great deal. Then we had the Ricochet hype package, so we should see him again probably a week or two. Are they gonna have him at Takeover? I would have him at Takeover.
I would totally have him at Takeover.
I gotta steal the fucking show. We had a Moon versus Aaliyah match for some fucking reason.
Yeah, it didn't really make any sense.
My note here says Job Squad inbound. Shayna on commentary. Her mic sounds like crap. Sloppy match.
In fairness, she was like leaning way the fuck back, so I guess the crap.
Well, she had a headset on though.
I know, but if you put stress on the cord still.
I don't give a fuck.
Just saying.
Get some can you pay an extra $2 for some quality goddamn cables? So yeah, it was a sloppy match. I didn't enjoy it.
I just had my notes. I have a sneaking suspicion we have a sneak attack coming in, and then at the end I just go, no attack. I'm stunned.
Yeah, I'm fine without the attack. We then transitioned to what I thought was going to be a match. We had Raul Mendoza doing his entrance, and then got jumped from behind by already seeing llamas, and then I knew there was a promo coming, and since he can't speak English, and Zelina Vega can't speak anything that makes any sense whatsoever, I skipped it. Which led us into a Lars Sullivan hype package, which is weird, because we haven't seen him on TV this year. So there's been no explanation as to where he's been, whether he's been injured, what's going on, nobody knows. There was speculation after the Rumble that they would have him just show up on main roster, but that hasn't happened either. So I don't know why they're hyping a return.
There's a possible idea that he might be Braun's partner as well for the tag match.
I would enjoy the shit out of that. I want a whole monster stable that can't be beat. I want a whole monster stable that can't be beat and holds all the gold and does so for like 3 straight years. Not like Brock Lesnar, that's never there. But like, go ahead, all right, come at me. And then eventually you can transition them away from, they're there all the time. You always see them. Like it's kind of like Mil Muertes when he won the initial Lucha Underground title. Well, no, not Matanza, because Matanza would literally come down and kick the shit out of people. But Mil Muertes would just like sit up on his fucking throne and watch. Yeah, that's what I kind of like. Eventually, after teams are sick and tired of just being hospitalized, like fuck that shit. We'll just compete amongst each other, and eventually somebody's gonna have to face them, but it's gonna be a process. So that's kind of what I want and then there's like a big uprising and they get dethroned. That would be my cool thing. But yeah, none of this really makes a ton of sense with the Lars Sullivan being not there after having such a big fucking push. We had a Regal promo saying that he will make a big announcement next week that will change the landscape of the entire globe.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is going on there, but okay. Didn't know things need to get changed. Maybe we're getting an extra hour of NXT.
Then we had Adam Cole, baby, versus Kazuchika.
Very much so. This was about as good a match as Cole is really kind of supposed to have, or has the ability to have.
Yeah, I enjoyed the fuck out of it.
Yeah, no, there was nothing wrong with it. I enjoyed the initial "Oh no, baby" chant. That was good. Oh no, baby! Oh no, baby!
I literally had maybe one gripe of the whole match, and that was Cole did the fake knee injury deal, and then like the refs telling Ono, step back, let him back in the ring, and then Ono reaches way out to grab him by the head, and I'm like, this is either very unface-like if he is actually hurt, or it's very dumb if he's not hurt, and sure enough, bam, upside the head.
Yeah, I enjoyed the sucker job, especially the payoff afterwards when he's like dancing around and showing people, "Oh yeah, I fucked with you and you bought it." Even I think even the ref bought into it. Maybe that was a spot. Maybe it's a work, and the ref he went out immediately because Cole looked like maybe legitimately hurt. So the ref immediately dove outside and was like, "Are you fucking okay?" So that was that little bit made me laugh. I was thinking to myself, if he's working it.
I enjoyed it up until when Ono goes super off balance to grab him by the head. I'm like, you're not even going to be able to pull him in like that. Jesus,
you're not even trying.
Yeah, that was a bit dumb.
I enjoyed the Interceptor big boot.
Yes.
And all of the discus elbows and all the super kicks and all of the last shots and things like that.
Oh, I did have one other problem in the match. We had a commercial halfway through your main event on your network show.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Pretty much fuck you. Yeah. I mean, we could have had a commercial break during the entirety of the Moon versus Aaliyah match. That would have been fine. So, your boy Adam Cole won with the final shot, or the last shot, or the complete shot. That wasn't the complete shot. That's a different move.
That is a different move.
So he did shots, and then got the win, much like I have myself. And it was. I would say this is a match well worth watching.
I enjoyed the one Adam Cole Bebe chant they did. Adam Cole, and the crowd went, baby, and he just goes, you guys are so stupid.
That was good. I did enjoy that. You stupid marks. So, that's pretty much where that sits.
Which, by the way, just to kind of put a cap on this, we talk about how WWE heels have been bad on the main roster for a long time. They're all delusional, etc. You can't buy them. This is a perfect example of how you do it. Adam Cole won this match largely clean. He's a heel. And I buy him as a badass. Ba-boom.
Yep.
Perfectly well done. Even like Andrade Cien Almost is a decent example of this. Like he, can. Like the problem with Almost, I guess, is that Vega really does write checks that their history doesn't cash. But he's not delusional.
Also true. And it's nice to see Adam Cole finally get a win. This is his first win on the roster, other than Caesar Banana Salad.
He's had some others, but it's been a bit. It's been a bit.
Indeed. I mean, he beat Caesar Bongos.
No, that was a no contest. Remember, they attacked him before the match.
Oh yeah.
Which that I didn't really agree with. Just have Benoni do the fucking job, unless something's gonna happen.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the Wobbly Bee in for the week, and I don't think we have any weird extraneous news to talk about, which is weird.
Not really. It's been a slow news time lately. I mean, most of the news has been centered around just like what's going to happen at Mania, and we tend to talk about that during the overall review.
Correct. AJ Styles may or may not be hurt. Nobody's really sure. That's about it.
He worked a house show, so the assumption is that he's hurt, but it's not bad enough to keep him actually out of action. So
fair enough.
Any thoughts that him versus Nakamura at Mania is off are largely put to rest because he did work a house show match. And if they had him work a house show match injured, like seriously, fucking idiots.
Correct. Give that boy some cocaine and get him on the run.
So that is all for this week, and we'll be back next week, hopefully with a special guest. And until then, stay classy, San Diego.
Whale's vagina.
And get off of Byron's lawn. Head away from his whale vagina.